Hey everybody, this recording will cover the upcoming transition planning assignment. So if you go under assignments, it is now the first one up at the top. Everything else we've already worked through, right? We're done, 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 done. So now we are at the transition planning assignment. So for this assignment, I gave you a case study from chapter 11 of the transition textbook. Remember I said that textbook was not required this semester because I didn't really think I used it enough last semester to warrant the cost of the textbook. But remember, the PowerPoints are posted here under Content Fall 2022. And if you go here, so I do want you to take some time and look at especially the chapters that have the sound recordings, okay? Those are the chapters that last year, or the last time I taught this class, I had the students, or they did purchase this textbook, and the chapters with the sounds were really the ones that we spent the most time on. So take a few minutes, look at chapter 5, chapter 6, listen to the recording, chapter 9, and then for this particular assignment, chapter 11 will be very helpful as well. So you may want to take a few minutes and look at either the PowerPoint or the PowerPoint with sound. It's just one part for chapter 11, and the name of chapter 11 is, I'm going to show you, assuming it's going to come up, Transition to Post-Secondary Education. So that's what we are talking about for this particular assignment. Okay, so we want to think about, our students who are getting ready to graduate high school or finish high school. What are they going to do? What are they interested in, first of all, right? Because especially at this age, if they're going from high school to post-secondary, education doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go to college or they're going to continue to take classes. It could just say, transition to post-secondary life, right? So what do they want to do? Really thinking about what they want to do. Some students might decide, hey, I do want to go to college. If I go to college, how can I get the supports that I might need? There are a number of programs in South Carolina at colleges that are for students with intellectual disabilities, right? Clemson has the LIFE program. I think I may have told you about that. LIFE, Learning is for Everyone. And so I used to work with the program. And so those students go to get the traditional college experience that their peers are getting. They don't necessarily walk away with a college degree or a diploma, but they get, I think, a certificate or something like that. And it gives them the experience of living, the college life like other typical, 18, 19, 20, 21-year olds do, right? So there are a number of programs, like I said, in the state. I know Coastal Carolina has a program like that. College of Charleston has one. Clemson has one. USC has one. And I think Francis Marion does not, unfortunately, but I'm trying to think of what other ones do. Maybe Winthrop, but I might be making that up. So anyway, you can do some research if you're interested in that. But so we want to think about for students who are transitioning to post-secondary life, whether that's education, whether that's going right into a job, whatever. So chapter 11 will be helpful for this assignment. Okay, so going to the assignment. It is called the Transition Planning Assignment. So you will click right here. And this is a case study you will use. This is somebody named Andrew, and it's from chapter 11 of the textbook. So let me just show you the case study. Of course, I have it open 27 times on the bottom and did not look. All right, so here is the case study. And it does say chapter 11, pages 258 to 259, but I just gave that to you here. Okay, so you didn't have to buy the textbook. So what I want you to do is you're going to read the case study of Andrew, and then you're going to complete the student preferences and interest form basic, which is found under the assignment link directly below this case study. I'll show you where in 1 second. Start with number 1 on the student preferences and interest form, then complete numbers 2A through 2E, then complete, and I'll show you what it looks like in just 1 second, then complete 3A through 3E, and finish with 4A to 4E. If you are unable to find the answer directly in this case study, it is okay to use your best guess and infer what you think could be appropriate answers. And also figure 11-1 on page 260, which I will make sure is in the PowerPoint. Okay, so here's his case study, here's his background. Here's his vision, not talking about his eye vision, but what does he want to do, kind of his plan for post-secondary life. Here's a summary of performance and transition to college, and that's it. Okay, so that's a little case study you're going to use, so just these couple pages. And then you're going to go here to the transition planning inventory. All right, so you're just going to click, remember you can click here or you can click here. I'm just going to click right here. It's going to open up. Of course, I already had it open up at the bottom. I should look before I do things, but that's okay. All right, so this is the transition planning inventory. It's from the 3rd edition. That's where I got it from, student preferences and interest form basics. So this is what you're going to complete. So you will, again, explain what Andrew was thinking at the time of the case study based on his interest and preference. And again, based on the information that is provided to you. If the case study does not provide a direct answer, it is okay to infer and use your best guess to determine appropriate answers for each box. You know, based on what he said, you're not going to go completely to left field and just make something totally different for him. So looking at his case, the case study and his preferences and his interests, you know, you can, if you need to infer something, you can, or make your best guess. So I want you to start, so first you're going to answer number 1. Okay, here's number 1 right here. Then I want you to start at the top of each column and read downward. So you're going to start with number 1 right here, which is what does Andrew plan on doing after high school, such as working, more school training, choosing a place to live. Be specific here. Tell me what you think Andrew is interested in. And then I want you to start with number 2A and go all the way down to 2E. Okay, so 2 is working. So column 2 is working. So you're going to go 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E. You're just going to type your answers right in there, whatever you think. 3 is learning. So same thing, 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, 3E. So remember, go down the columns. And then column 4 is living, 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, and 4E. And you, of course, you know, if you start typing in these boxes, you can certainly add more space, right? So, or if you want to get rid of the boxes, well, don't get rid of the boxes because that makes it very confusing for me. But you know, just put your best guesses. Where would he like to work? Well, if it says that in the case study, you know, put that here. If not, you can kind of infer based on some of the other information. All right, so again, you're going to start with number 1. You'll do all of 2, work all the way down. Okay, you'll go to number 3, work all the way down. You'll go to number 4, work all the way down. And then I want you to use your knowledge of Andrew to develop 1 post-secondary goal for each area listed below. Okay, so you will have a total of 3 goals, 1 for working, 1 for learning, and 1 for living. Okay, so 3 separate goals, 1 for working, 1 for learning, 1 for living. And I want you to use the IEP textbook, some of those PowerPoints to think about how you can write appropriate goals for each of these areas. Okay, so remember you want to have the criterion, the learner, the condition, and who remembers the other one? I'm drawing a blank. Condition, learner, behavior, criteria, right? It took me a second. I'm old, y'all. I forget things. But so, okay, so use the IEP textbook for some examples of some appropriately written goals. Okay, so again, pretty straightforward. Read the case study, type your answer number 1. Number 2, work all the way through for working, work all the way through for learning, work all the way through for living, and using the information that you put in these 3 separate columns, that will help you develop your 3 separate goals for working, learning, and living. All right, that is hopefully it's pretty, you know, it's pretty easy to follow along. But again, you know, do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and then come up with 3 separate goals, okay, based on the information that you wrote up here and also the information in the case study. All right, that is it for the transition planning planning activity. And so again, here's the case study. Here's the actual assignment. Remember, you can access here or here. Remember this little icon, that's what it means, assignment. And I will put this recording that I'm doing right now, I will put this here as well as under the announcements, which is over here. I will create a new announcement and put the video right here, and it will hopefully maybe sort of kind of come to you in email as well. All right, I think that's about it for now. Have a great rest of the week.